Hello, everybody. I am the host with the platform most, Troy here. We're back at it again. It's been almost a full week since we saw the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, getting all the deets, the good, the bad, the pricey, the powerful, everything about this console here, or at least what we mostly need to know going into its launch season here. And I kind of just wanted to, break down just kind of my 2 cents on this whole thing, kind of like what my personal excitement is for a console. Why I've been feel like I have, while I'm still excited for the piece of hardware, I'm a little like have a sour taste in my mouth. Just gonna go all into that here. But before we jump into that, please make sure to sub to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification button, hit that bell for me here. It does help a lot here. Also, I do stream here on YouTube and on Twitch. T_Roy Jenkins. Definitely come on through. I do stream mostly weeknights from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time till 12 a.m. Central Standard Time here, and then Sundays normally from 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to 12 a.m. Central Standard Time as well here. But let's just get right into it here regarding like the Switch 2. Overall, I am still pretty excited for this piece of hardware. Like I am. Like I do think this is everything I wanted the Switch follow up to be. Like it's a big, just a little bit of a bigger console, definitely a beefier beast. Like it's actually a bit more powerful than I expected. It's sounding like it's more powerful than an Xbox Series S, sounding more powerful than a Steam Deck, which that's actually more surprising to me than regarding that, because Nintendo's never been known to really invest too much into power here. And the fact that we got 120 frames per second on handheld and on dock still blows my mind. Dock has 4K, which I was expecting that, but still it's nice that they were able to do that. Yeah, I wish the LCD screen, I personally don't mind. I understand people wish it was OLED. OLED should be like the standard, but I rather if it's like just an LCD screen to get all these features. Just at least for now, I can live with that. We all know the Switch 2 OLED will be down the road a few years into this system's life cycle here. But like the Direct was fantastic. Like I still stand by it. This is one of Nintendo's better Directs. Like it sold me on everything I needed to know about the Switch 2. Like the console itself, give us an idea how powerful it is, what kind of games we're getting, what first party titles should we look forward to. This is a Nintendo console that's launching with a brand new Mario Kart. Like that is our big Mario game, is we're launching with a new Mario Kart that looks to be pretty expansive on its own right here as well. And then like a new Donkey Kong game, like first 3D one since like the N64 days. It's like it feels like it hit all the checkpoint boxes that I needed it to hit. However, there's been two issues. The communication of this thing has been very mixed at best, and the pricing of some of the products that it's going along with it here. Let's go like the communication. There, I feel it kind of goes hand to hand in some ways here. So the fact that we found out everything, including the release date, pretty early on with this Direct at June 5th, but the fact that we didn't get the like price point until afterwards in a press release already should have been our first red flag. That shows to me that Nintendo knew there was going to be maybe some pushback with the price point here. I personally think $450 USD actually makes sense, because I was predicting it to be anywhere between $400 to $450 USD, and the fact that it is on the higher end did kind of like, okay, like, but it still fit. Like I was kind of like, that's kind of what I was eyeing it at here. But for what the system's able to do, like power wise, I feel like it makes sense. Like I know people are, think $450 is expensive here, and I do agree, because as you guys know, things are just tough right now for everybody across the board. Just everything's going up. Our wages are staying the same. Like nothing is just, it's just tough out here in these streets. And the fact that the Nintendo console, which has always been the more affordable option, that's why I feel like Nintendo's kind of going through an identity issue with this like reveal, is this is the first time since the GameCube era that they're really trying to focus on like power, or at least give some form of beefy hardware to kind of future-proof the thing. Because that's been one of the issues with the original Switch, was by year two, like third-party titles were already becoming like easily the worst version of all the multi-plat releases here. Like the only people who really pick those games on third parties are people who only really play on Switch, like that was their primarily console, or like me, the sickos like me who have a fascination with worse performing versions of video games of multi-plat games. So I fit in that category because the Switch was my primary console until 2021 when I finally got the Switch 2, not Switch 2, the Series S, but that was like late in the year too. Like, so the it wasn't a known issue that the Switch was already lagging behind by like 2019 regarding third-party support. So I feel like this was a way to combat it, and I do think it was a good compromise. However, I don't blame you for thinking $450 is an expensive item. It is expensive. I think it's even expensive for me, especially with everything going on. But for everything that's like what this system's trying to sell, it fits. But I do get somewhat of the pushback, but I don't see it as much compared to like the games, because that's really where I start getting like, what the F here. Particularly like, let's say, well, for example, if you're looking at the stream, they're showing off the Nintendo Switch 2 welcome tour in the direct here. This is a tech demo that they revealed that will be available day one on the Switch 2's launch. It's pretty much what you expect for a tech demo. Like it's a cute little thing that shows you what the console can do, like gimmick wise, like Joy-Cons, like how powerful it is, like all that stuff that what a tech demo should do, like an Astro's Playroom for the PS5. It showed you what your PS5 can do. However, unlike Astro's Playroom, which was a free download with your PS5, this is a paid download, and that is so tone deaf to me. With everything going on, I understand that you like Nintendo has this philosophy with their games, like we put work into it, we feel like we should get paid for it, which again, in a perfect world, that makes sense. But when you're trying to sell a console, and literally the only reason why this game exists is to help you sell the console and show consumers what the console can do, just eat the loss and just pack it in, especially when you're already having a pretty beefy console. And especially it's a $10 USD download, which again, it's only $10, but $10 is $10. And the fact that this could like at least maybe help a little bit more people like understand the Switch 2, maybe like not feel so like dang, like ripped off or something like that. It just feels tone deaf, because we all know this is just a tech demo. It looks cool, it looks neat, and from what I heard, the mini games and everything looks very like unique, but a paid download for a tech demo in the year of our Lord 2025 is a big one to take in, especially once we found out the prices of the games out there to direct, which that's common. We don't really know the prices of games until pretty much the press release and all that stuff here after these commercial events. But the fact that this is okay, so it's not all games vary here. We got some more confirmation, but the fact that your big 10-put title, your big 10-put launch game is the first game to be $80 USD, that is a hard pill to swallow, especially going from 60 to 80. It's a $20 jump, and that's a big jump for software here, especially the fact that the recently inputted $70 price point on most AAA releases in 2020 is already still a big pill to swallow for most people. People are even like, it's a hard pill to sell even a $60 game, you know, like even in this day and age, like money's tight, things are tight. Like I get the concern, I get the complaint, and I understand production costs is going up, everything is going up, and unfortunately us as the consumers do take the biggest hit with it, with these price raising moments here. However, it's like every time a price goes up, and this is why, like, I understand the inflation conversation. I do know that it does impact the Switch and everything across the board, but when prices go up but the wages still stay the same, you can give me all the numbers you want, but the fact that we like our money, our dollar is worth less now than it has ever been, is just like, just because companies are not going with inflation regarding compensation of their workers, it's just really tough to really sell me on the inflation thing, especially when it's a game that that looks great. This looks great. Mario Kart World is playing on the screen right now, and it looks phenomenal. I am very excited for this. This is our first new Mario Kart in over 10 years. I've been playing the same Mario Kart for over 10 years, and this looks to be the perfect Mario Kart that I wanted to follow up the system. But the $80 price tag was such a hard pill to swallow. I feel like it will be justified in some way because it's going for a lot. I do get that. And Mario Kart is one of those big 10-put titles that I feel like you could get away with it, like Pokemon, like a Madden, like that has such a big casual audience, and there's enough people that will buy it at launch just at that price here. That's probably the only reason why they're even picking up a Switch 2 is to play Mario Kart. It was a tough pill to swallow, and I'm still really adjusting to it. I am still personally excited for Mario Kart World, but that $80 price point is definitely like the shadow that's overseeing what is overall looking like to be the perfect follow-up to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe here. Regarding that, but then also like the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of games, the fact that 3 of the physical titles are $80, that's what makes me more mad. I understand some of them, like Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, you're kind of getting DLC with it, and it's more for people who don't have the game physically on Switch 1 and just want to get it on Switch 2. I get why these exist, but the fact that they're $80 games, it just feels like a middle finger in the face. Like it just feels tone deaf. Like, especially like we didn't really find out the upgrade until really recently, like yesterday, regarding, I believe it was like 15. Some games is just very like depends on like $10-15 USD, which makes sense. I do think it's still a little bit pricey for the upgrade, but it makes sense. That's what I was expecting. But then something that they didn't say in the Nintendo Direct, but it was afterwards, was they come included with your Nintendo Switch Online Premium. So, which was one of my predictions, to sell you on Nintendo Switch Online. So the fact that like you're basically paying an $80 game that you really, of a game that you more likely already have on your Switch 1, because all of these games are pretty big Switch 1 titles. Super Mario Party, like Jamboree, is the only one I could see that, because that's a more recently released one, but still that one's sold like hotcakes. It's a hard pill to, again, I'm repeating myself, hard pill to swallow. It's like a tone deaf, like what the hell are we doing here? Like, I understand costs are rising up, but it still hurts when the consumer is really paying for it on that end. But then your communication regarding it has just been very bad at times, like especially with the physical cartridge. Like, a lot of people were scared, and rightfully so, like, oh, it's just a download code, it's not really a physical hardware, which Nintendo Switch 1 games have done this. It's primarily games that can't fully fit on one cartridge and has, or online only games like Fortnite, like you buy the physical one. It's basically just a game key. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's not really you're owning it physically. And the Switch 2 games, only some have this game key option. It's primarily looks to be Nintendo Switch 2 versions and sound like maybe some third-party titles, like always online games, like just like the Switch 1. But the fact that you communicated so poorly, and you're really pushing a digital future when the $500 bundle is a more enticing option to get with Mario Kart World, because you're saving $30 compared to the physical release, just kind of rubs people the wrong way that you're really trying to push this all digital landscape of like, just, you don't fully own your games. It's just, yeah, I get like the backlash of it. I'm like, we were able to get some clarity, but at the same time, the deed was done. It's just been so fun dealing with the miscommunication, the misinformation that's been rolling around regarding this system here. Because then some of the other games are priced fine, like the Bravely Default remake. That's a 3DS game, basically. It's $40. That's perfectly fine. Street Fighter 6, that include the Fighter Pass 1 and 2. Physical edition is $60, the same price that it launched on a PC, Series X and S, and PS5, PS4. That makes sense to me. Like, it's really just a few titles are $80. Your Donkey Kong game's $70. So it definitely communicated this weird all right, which titles are going to be 80, which are going like the premium 80, which ones are going to fall between the lines. I just, and I understand the effort and stuff, but like some games like Pokemon, which you know for a fact they're going to launch that at 80, like especially the new Pokemon, not the ZNA, but like the next generation game. Yeah, it's going to be 80 just because they know they can. So that communication just feels so tone deaf to me, and just kind of like, read the room. We're really struggling right now. But it's why like the Nintendo Switch 2 feels like it just have an identity crisis. Like, it's Nintendo finally listening to fans that they got a powerful system, but the pricing has been questionable in areas here. For what wants to be the affordable option is now as expensive as the other guys. Granted, I do think this is just a timing, like a situation of bad timing. The Switch 2 is dropping in pretty much a very bad year economically, and I don't think Nintendo is going to be the only one who's really going to bump up to $80. I think everyone across the board is. Like, don't be surprised if Sony, Microsoft follow suits. I expect third parties to follow suits, just because of the unstable economic times that we're in. I feel like that's just gonna happen. It's just Nintendo got the front of it because, one, Nintendo's just one of those companies, people who hate them just really hate them, and they'll just find every ways to bag on them, and rightfully so. I do think there's some very questionable choices with Nintendo regarding their business practices here, but there is a lot of things I kind of respect about them compared to other publishers and companies here. But at the end of the day, it's just the communication of this thing has just been the worst. That the fact that we've been running with a $90 game because someone misread euros instead of USD, but the fact that, you know, all of this was changing so quickly and they weren't really keeping up with speed or keeping us informed is just it's just so, it feels so tone deaf and everything here. It just feels like the whoever was communicating this just did a horrible job. Like, all right here, like the Direct itself sold fine. Like, I was sold on the console. It's just like everything else. Like, what the heck here? What the heck? I'm just upset on that end, just mostly with the communication of this console, but still I'm overall excited for it. Like, this, like, all the games look great. Metroid Prime 4 looks phenomenal on Switch 2, and the fact that I have a quality mode and a performance mode that both look just absolutely stunning. I can play with a mouse con, which I'm very excited to get that hands on, and from what I heard, it seems pretty stable. It's just like for long gameplay, it might have some questionable moments on that, but like, it seems to be a fun alternative to play the game. Mario Kart World looks outright amazing. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks outright amazing. You know, like, the Switch 2 upgrades do look phenomenal. Like, the fact that I can now play an official Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom game on my Switch 2 at 60 FPS at 1080p or even 4K just makes me so happy that I might even revisit the game for a bit because of that. But just the communication with the pricing and just everything surrounding it, and the fact that you had to delay pre-orders because the ongoing tariff situation, which you released this Direct at the same day that, you know, President Trump announced the freaking global tariffs across the board. So it's just like, you couldn't release this information at a worse time. It's been a whirlwind of a week regarding that here. So I'm still excited for it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick it up just because, unfortunately, I'm broke. I'm facing a hard time. The job that I thought I was going to be starting here soon rescinded their offer, so I'm back to square one to looking for work. So I got to be very cautious with my money. And I love content creation. I love streaming. I love, you know, doing these videos on YouTube, but unfortunately, they don't pay the bills. And as much as I want to Switch 2 just so I can make content with it, it just... I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it at launch. Not just because, like, these things are still selling out. Like, I think the available pre-orders across the world, like, they're selling out like hotcakes. So even like pay with your wallet, you know, show them with your wallet. People are still lining up in droves as we expected for the system at launch. I'm just curious how it's gonna go for the, like, past the holiday season. Like, what is it gonna look like this time next year in 2026 at still this price? Are we in still this financial turmoil that, you know, things are just way too expensive and just our money is just worth less than ever. Like, it's going to be like harder to sell this console at that time unless you're just able to, like, you know, convince people, or maybe even do a price cut of maybe even a game like with promotions or bundles. But like, that's where I'm more curious about the consoles. Like, where's going to be a year down the line? Because I feel like we already understand like the launch year, like what to expect for it here. It's just, will this be more of a turmoil to face once you get later down the road, when it's no longer the hot new item? Is it still going to sell pretty well, or you're going to face some issues here? I don't see this being a Wii U. I don't see this being a GameCube. Like, I still see this selling pretty well, but it's going to have some hurdles once it does get to it here, after the hype dies down and a little bit more uncertainty is a bit cleared up here. But overall, as much as like I've been hating this like the communication of this system, just trying to dig up everything I can and trying to get the right sources, the right information regarding everything, and the backlash and just the bad hot takes, just everything about it, I am still excited for this thing. I'm gonna try my best to get this within the first few months of release. I want to play the new Mario Kart. I want to play Metroid Prime, but again, it's just right now money's tight. I just don't see it happening unless things just get changed. But I'm definitely excited to see where the Switch 2 will lead us and what the future does have in store for it here. But what do you guys think about the Switch 2 reveal? Like, what are your like thoughts about it? Like, how do you feel a week after everything has gone down? Do you feel still pretty hyped for the console? Are you feeling pretty down? What's your biggest like disappointments with it? What's your biggest highlights? I would love to hear it down in the comments below, on that end. And again, don't forget to sub to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and follow me on my socials, T_Roy Jenkins. I do stream here on YouTube and on Twitch. Definitely come on through. I stream in the evenings from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to 12 a.m. Central Standard Time here, going through Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza right now, which I'm enjoying quite a bit. One of my favorite games of the year so far. But until next time, y'all, take it easy, be kind to each other, be safe out there. Love y'all. Peace.